Good morning, good morning, good morning. Can you hear me, Alicia?
Yes, I hear you. Perfect.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. You are tuning in to Hey Sis Show Up For You, and we are in the Intentional Success Tribe. So, with that being said, if you don't know what the Intentional Success Tribe is, it's a place where small business owners and entrepreneurs gather to connect with one another and build community. It's that collaboration container for Success Tribe VIPs. So, if you're looking for a place to connect, make sure you click that greenhouse above, and also make sure you go ahead and click on the Facebook link that will be sending your business in with you soon.
So if you're
I
looking
wanted
for a
to let
place
you
to
know
connect,
you're
make sure
tuning
you
in
click
right
that
now to
greenhouse
Hey
above, and
Sis.
also
Make
make
sure
sure
you tap
you
on
go
that
hit that
collaboration
collaboration
link
container for
right
Success
above you
Tribe
because
VIP.
we
So if
meet
you're
Eastern 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we stream on multiple platforms from Facebook to Clubhouse to YouTube, Instagram, you name it. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our lovely speaker for today. For every day for Hey Sis Show For You, and that's the lovely, amazing, phenomenal Alicia Richardson. She is all about three things: love yourself, love your family, and love your life. She's encouraging Christian busy moms to step outside of the box and into pursuing their passion. And then, if you don't know, now you know. My name is Jasmine Porter, you all, and literally, I stand by these three things: gift from God, Godpreneur, and literally just standing in purpose. I'm all about boldly living life in purpose, on purpose, intentionally, because I am a gift from God and so are you. So, with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to our lovely speaker, the amazing Alicia Richardson. Go ahead and kick off today for Hey Sis, Show Up For You.
Yes, thank you, Jasmine. That is for that introduction. You always do such an amazing job. So just to share a little bit. So as we've been talking about all week, we've been talking about process, and appreciating the process. And Jasmine is actually in one of her processes right now. So she's actually traveling. You could probably kind of hear it in her background. And so for you who are on Facebook, that's why you can see me. But on Clubhouse, you can hear Jasmine, but she may go in and out every once in a while. But she's going to do her best to stay here in the room with us. But before we get started and actually jump into the topic, I wanted to do something different today. So I wanted to start off with a few affirmations just to kind of get the room started. And if you love what you hear, you can go ahead and listen back to the replay and replay these affirmations over and over again. And so let me go ahead and start. All right. So you are in control of your life. Today will be a great day. You focus on what you want. You can handle anything that comes your way. You have all the strength and confidence within you that you need in order to succeed. Everything in life happens for you, not to you, but for you. The most important thing is that you learn something, and nothing can stop you from achieving what you want. You are awesome, and you are making today count. And so I wanted to share that affirmation with you because on Hey Sis Short For You morning motivation, that's one of the things that we want to do. We want to get you to not feel like you have to get up, but we want you to feel like you want to get up. Right. And so there's again, it's a different mindset shift. You go about your day differently because you feel differently, you think differently. Right. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And we're talking about appreciating the process. And what I have decided to talk about today was the process of me becoming debt free and what that looked like for me. I decided to do this topic just because I know that a lot of people make this a goal for them as they move into their new year, right? So becoming debt free. But listen, if you're already debt free, there are the lessons that I'm sharing can also go to all of your other processes that you're going through, whatever goal you're setting for yourself. And I'm saying goal just because in order to reach a goal, anytime you ever ask for anything from God, God does not always just hand it to you. What he does is he takes you through a process for you takes you through a process so that you can actually begin to or receive it and actually appreciate what he's giving you. All right, Jasmine, I see you. Yay. Okay, Jasmine. All right. So, so I wanted to just let me just tell the story about debt free, and it's a bit of embarrassing story for me. However, I know that it's going to help so many people in the journey that I had to go to in order to get to a place of being debt free. So before actually, my mom would tell you I was a penny pincher, right, when it was just me, and it, I was taking care of my sister, my son at the time. And so I was a great saver. I wouldn't just get credit cards, things like that. But once I got married, I don't know, it was just like I got married and it was things became different. I got out of the military and things just kind of flipped for me. And all of a sudden I was just like this spender. And I just wanted to go into the store just because I could. I wanted to go, shopping just because, I could. But eventually what happened is that all caught up with me, and we were in some deep debt. I had so many credit cards. I had so many signed up for so much stuff that, like, we weren't even using half the stuff I signed us up for. So when it came time to actually doing the things that we wanted to do in life and actually going after our purpose as a married couple, we couldn't, because why? I put us in debt, right? So when put as I once I put us in debt, right, we did get ourselves out of debt. However, because I didn't properly go through the process, I put us back into debt. So we were in and out of debt three times. Yeah, we were in and out of debt three times. And but it wasn't until this last time that we were in debt that I really felt it, and I really jumped in a jumped into the process, and appreciated the process of coming out of debt. And so today, as we talk about this, I want to just introduce to you that as you're going through a process, you're breaking down layers. Like, you're not, when you jump into a process, it's not just, okay, I'm here, I'm fixed, now I can leave. No, as you're in the process, you begin to peel back different layers of why you are doing what you're doing, how you ended up where you ended up. I don't know if you guys remember on Monday, I think it was Natalie who talked about when 2022 hit, you're not just going to turn into this new person. You have to reflect on what got you to the place of where you are now, right? So, and when thinking about that, you have to you begin to, like, peel back, like, the layers, are the all of the things that got you to the place of where you are now. So the first layer, and actually, Jasmine, I don't know, tap your okay, I guess our signal will be like either right in the chat that you have something, or tap your mic if you have something, because I can't really see you. So when you have something, it's going to be hard for me to tell. um but so the first thing I wanted to jump into is the surface layer, right? So the surface layer is, for me, when it came to getting out of debt, was I had to say, okay, I got a problem, right? And beforehand, as I shared the story last time, is, oh no, this was in the book. I didn't know that I had a problem. I didn't know that it was an issue. I didn't know that I was sabotaging what we could be doing. One, because we did not write out our purpose. We did not write out the vision for our family. So I had nothing to aim for. Okay. So being in debt, or making it a process to get out of debt, that was the first thing I realized. Was I didn't one I that I I didn't know I had a problem, and two, I didn't have a mission or a purpose or something to aim for. All right. So once I, realized that surface layer, I asked the question, all right, well, cool. What's causing me to actually, um, you know, be this way? What's causing me to feel like I need to spend? What's causing me to continuously put us in debt, right? And so the next layer is the mental layer, right? The mental layer, going into deep thoughts, going into self awareness, self observation. When we go into a process, the process is not always going to be pretty, because what God does is he begins to open us up. All right. So the first step in the process is acknowledging that there is a problem. And once you're able to do that, then God's able, okay, so now you can now become self-aware or build some self-awareness. What's causing you to do this? By asking this question, you're allowing God to search your heart. You're allowing God to search you and expose the things that's causing you to go in the direction of where you don't want to go, right? So if you're losing weight, what's causing you to not stick to the plan? What's causing you to not be disciplined? What's causing you to not grow? What's causing you to not, I think I said this already, stick to the plan, right? So for me, when it came to that part, was I was depressed. I was using the shopping, I was using like all of these things to kind of, I mean, feel good, right? Shopping therapy is what we call it. Is what I call it anyway. Shopping therapy, right? So using I was using shopping as a mechanism to make me feel good temporarily, right? But what I was using temporarily was actually hurting my future. It was hurting my it was hurting my family, and it was not getting me into a place of where I desired to be. All right. And then the third layer is the spiritual layer. All right. So now it brings me to an even deeper question of, why am I here? Who am I? Why in the world did you put me here to feel all of these things? So now I'm just going back and wondering, like, thinking over my childhood, thinking over all these things. So like this one thought, as you're going through a process, this process is, it doesn't always, even though it's going to get you to your desire, as you go through the process, it's going to magnify things in your life that you forgot about. It's going to magnify things in your life that you had no control over. It's going to show you, like I said, just become more self-aware and allow you to just begin to go through that spiritual journey. Okay. So when it oh, I hear you, Jasmine, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, go
Can you
ahead,
hear
jump
me?
in.
All right. I just want to. So I today I was talking to my friend, and she said she gave you some steps, and they're important steps. Those are steps also not only to inner healing, but there are any steps where you're exposing and trying to go to your next when it comes to elevation, or even if you're doing inner work. So the first one she said was set the goal, set the vision and know the mission. And the thing is, a lot of us don't set missions. We don't have goals. We don't know what we want to do with our lives or where our life is going. And because of that, we find ourselves in situations that may not be the best. We find ourselves running from things, running from traumatic experiences, running from all types and sorts of things. So once you set the vision and the mission, then you have a direction to go. So a man that has no follow or has no direction in life will always go down other pathways because they don't know where they're going. They're searching. So when you set the mission and the vision, you set yourself on a path. You allow God to take you to one destination. So that's something that's really important. The next thing she said was identify the problems and barriers, exposing the issue, self acceptance of that issue, and self awareness of the issue. Okay. So when it comes down to once you set your vision and mission, you will start to see when things are not lining up with it. You will start to see behaviors in yourself, behaviors in your circle, behaviors in the people around you. Even you might even see that the job that you're working at is not the right fit for you, right? Because now you've identified a mission and a vision. You've identified something you desire. So when you start to see the problems and barriers, you won't have to won't come to terms with it. Accept it, because you might see something, but the more you ignore it doesn't mean it's going to go away. You have to actually confront it head on. So once you literally confront that thing head on, you're exposing that issue, and then you're actually causing yourself to go into self-acceptance of the issue and self-awareness of the issue slash problem or barrier, so that you can now create change and put yourself in a power of change, because you are the only person that can make decisions in your life to change how your narrative looks right now and today. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead at 3, okay? Because she said a lot. She said vulnerability is of the root of the thing. So the thing that she talked about a lot was, once you start to uncover a lot of your pains, once you start, you get vision and stuff like that. Most of us want to put a band-aid and escape on things. That looks like shopping, drinking, sex. We can go through the whole list, right? But when it comes down to it, if you really want to heal from something, you got to get to the root. That means you got to uncover the dirt. You got to clean out the area. You got to actually dig, search, go deep within yourself. So for many of us, when she was talking about going debt free, she went back to like the idea, like, she was shopping a lot because she was depressed. She was miserable with her life. So that goes down to an internal issue, a spiritual issue. It's not something that's on the surface, but that takes a lot of work, right? That takes a lot of humility and vulnerability, because most people don't like going that deep. But that's the only way to really heal, so that you can get a transformation and not just put a band-aid on a thing. So vulnerability of the root, that means you got to uncover the dirt, sit down, and stop trying to escape. And then the last thing she said was, it gets to the deeper purpose of what we all are searching for. Who am I? Whose am I? And why am I here? Why did I get put this place? Why have I been through this life? Why have I been through some of these obstacles that I've been through in life? And when you really get a chance to sit down with that, it you only can get to that question if you start digging and if you go deep. If you don't go deep, you'll always ask yourself that question, but always run from the answer. So this is Jasmine Porter. I'm complete.
Jasmine, yes. Thank you for summing that up for me. All right. So, just to do a quick reset of the room, you are in the Intentional Success Tribe. Jasmine and I are both VIPs of the Intentional Success Tribe. And so, if you would like to join the Facebook group, just click on the link above that is titled Intentional Success Tribe. And also, if you would like to get reminders of all the things that are happening inside of this tribe, all the awesome, wonderful things inside of the tribe, go ahead and click on the greenhouse. There are a lot of shows like ours and other things that are coming up in the clubhouse as well as on Facebook. So if you want to stay connected, go ahead and follow those links. But yes, Jasmine, you are absolutely right, and thank you for summing that up for me. The other part too that I want to focus on when it comes to appreciating the process is the things that we deal with when we're actually in the process. So when I was dealing with like coming out of debt and trying to understand why I was going through what I was going through, there were a few things that I was missing, or that I felt I was missing anyway. But one of the things was support, right? So I didn't necessarily feel like I had support because what I was going through, I didn't understand. And then also my husband didn't understand. And I don't know, I just felt like no one could really get what I was dealing with, right? So having that support and people around you are feeling like you're okay enough to talk to someone about the problem. Another thing is going after something as major. For me, it was huge, going after something so major and shifting my mindset to being debt free, because a lot of people feel that you're going to always be in debt. There's no way that you cannot be in debt, which I am proof that that's not true. But going after this and getting into talking to people who feel, or having people around you that feel like, hey, debt is just a part of life, right? That's different. It's a roadblock. So now I'm going against like the resistance. I'm hitting these different roadblocks. Also, I'm stepping into a place of the unknown. And so and I asked the question, like, what habits do we need to break and what habits do we need to build? So in this process, I had to begin to break habits, and in order to break this habit, I had to deal with the root of the thing. And so it wasn't just about not going to the store, right? It had to be more so about, okay, Alicia, when you when you go to the store, why are you going to the store, right? And so what I had to, like, I had some practical things that I had to do, and I had some mental and spiritual things that I had to do. Practical things, I didn't, if I wasn't grocery shopping, or when I did grocery shop, I could only buy what was on the list, and I could only take the amount of money. So I could only carry cash, or I only took the amount of money that was set for the budget. I did the envelope system. The second thing was, if I ever went to the store that did not have to do with grocery shopping, I would not grab a cart. Why? Because a cart is just this thing that you can just throw stuff in and don't even have to worry about it until you get to the counter. But I wouldn't grab a cart. So whatever couldn't fit in my hands, I just didn't get. The next thing is dealing with the side of, so just because I set on a mission to not be or to be debt free, it didn't mean the feeling went away. It didn't mean the depression went away. It didn't mean like all the things I was dealing with went away. So I had to put myself on this thing. So instead of like, it was almost like I had to almost wean myself off of, right? So instead of going to Walmart, going to, different stores where things cost so much, instead of doing that, if I got upset, I would go to the dollar store. And we already know, like, like I was already buying stuff that I didn't need anyway. So in order to, as I was going through this process, I had something in place to kind of replace, but not as a temporary replacement, because you just cannot remove something without first weaning yourself off of it, right? So I went to the dollar store, and I could spend as much as I want because it was the dollar store, but I didn't put us in debt. Okay. So, but anyway, getting back to the process, roadblocks, the unknown, feeling like you're in darkness, getting into a place of where, it's literally like a place of becoming broken. Like you're really being repositioned, re-put together. Cause after you've dealt with the why you've done something, now God is begins to build you back up, right? So the process is also a place of brokenness, like not brokenness in a bad way, but brokenness in a place of, okay, let's lay you out, let's see what's going on now. Let's begin to prune off the things that are not healthy. Let's begin to now rebuild you with the things that I say about you. I'm talking about God, right? So let's begin to rebuild you with what I think about you, what I say about you. Let's begin to just put you back together the right way. Because now when you go into that place of brokenness, you're also breaking off the things from your childhood. You're breaking off the traumas. You're breaking off all the things that you like needed to heal from, right? So I didn't just go into debt just because I was spending money, but I went into debt because I was struggling. I was struggling mentally and spiritually. And I got so far away that I just didn't know how to get back. Right. And so it takes the act of God to, uh, to, uh, to put me back together. All right. So, Jasmine, do you have anything to add, or can you add anything here at this place?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
You can hear me?
I hear you. Yes.
Okay. Um. Okay. So with that being said, I want to highlight a couple of things because I know we're about to stop for a minute. But I want to highlight a couple of things you said. You said get to the root. And the root is really going back to your mindset and your beliefs. Like that's something that most people won't. Like you gotta realize, like when you deal with the root, it always will take you back to your spiritual self. It won't talk to you. Like yeah, you can talk about like your stomach pain and stuff like that. There's deeper issues that's going on. But when it gets down to it, everything that happens physically always starts off spiritually. And there's ways that we could talk about that and different things like that. But the other thing you talked about was surgery on the operation table. A lot of people, when we think of surgery that happens in the hospital, we think of like the cutting, the tearing, the stitching back together, the rearrangement, like that is the same thing that happens in the spirit realm. But it's the idea is who is doing your surgery. Because if your negative mindsets are doing your surgery, 9 times out of 10, you're still going to come out worse. You're going to come out stuck, stagnant, and back to the way that you were. But that's why you need to be exposed to a different environment, a tribe, a coach, a therapist, so that you can start having someone actually look in to see the things that you don't see to do that work. So, and the other thing too, like, yeah, God can do it for you, but this is the thing, like, that at some point you're gonna have roadblocks. So, like, for many times that I had roadblocks in my life, I had to sit and let God do it, but at the same time, He will always send me to other people so that they could break me open into my next, because there were certain things that I could not see. So I had to put that out. And then the last thing you said that I'm gonna hit on before I close my mic, is that you said, when you became free of money, when you had the money and you became debt free, it didn't change you internally. Like, you still was dealing with depression. And I think that's one thing, like, once we get a grip of, we all think that money will save us, money will help us, it'll end our depression. But the thing is, when people get it, you still see people that die, you still see people that commit suicide, you still see all these things. So everything internally matters, and it starts to manifest physically. So with that being said, I'm gonna close my mic.
Yes, Jasmine, exactly. And I think that's my point here. And I think what I'm trying to share is, as we go through the process and begin to really appreciate this journey and this process of getting to the things that we desire, that this is not something that, yes, it has external factors, but the root of it all is inner. Like, it's your inner being. And so until we deal with that inner being, the things that are external cannot change. They may change for a day or two, they may change for a year or two, but until you've changed on the inside completely, you there is no real change, right? um so before we move on, I just pinned a link to the top. If you are enjoying this conversation, or if you like more from this conversation, go ahead and click on the link above. What that link does is it sends you an email notification letting you know that we are going live. It's about a 10-minute reminder that we are going live. But also, by clicking on this link, Jasmine and I are working very hard and diligently to put some programs and things together. And I know that you guys are going to be excited. Jasmine, do you want to mention the name of it? Ow.
Why you didn't mention it?
No, I'm asking if it's okay. That's what I'm asking, if it's okay to mention it. Yeah, I can mention it.
Oh yeah, listen. Go ahead. Let the people know, because we starting full throttle January 2022. Yeah. So for those that don't know, that's tuning in the room. Me and Elisa, we have this sister bond. It's all love. It's all love. But before you share the name of it, I really want to highlight a couple of things, because if anything that people take from today's room is get to the root. Please, like, go to the root. Like, my question would be, aren't you tired of temporarily feeling satisfied for the moment? Like, it doesn't temporary satisfaction, temporary band-aids of, oh, some money came in, or, oh, you got to check every week. Aren't you tired of just everything being temporary? Like, when you could literally have for yourself, if you feel good about yourself internally, like, that changes everything. It don't matter what happened, what storm, what process you go through. But when you get to a point where it's just like, I'm so happy internally, like nothing else matters, like, it changes the way you do things, and it also changes what comes in your hand, because there's more that can come in your hand, expansion and things. So if anything you heard from this room, make sure you get to the root, make sure you pay attention to the root, and repeat those affirmations, because it was lit. But with that being said, go ahead, Alicia. I'm gonna pass it to you and close my mic.
Yes. Oh, Jasmine, that was a good. Aren't you tired of living in that temper? Yes, I got tired. Um, but here it is, right? So the what me and Jasmine are working on, it is called the Ministry of Identity. And as you know, our main focus is getting you to understand who you are and whose you are, right? And so we have put together different processes and things like that to get you to a place of strength, to get you to a place of confidence, to get you to a place of where you feel heard within yourself, right? So, um, oh, okay, okay. Um, so, so that's what we have coming down the line, and of course, with that, there's going to be, of course, with that, there's going to be so many other things that we are bringing out along with inside of this ministry, and so go ahead and click on that link if you want to get notified or be a part. Go ahead and follow up, or not follow up, but click on the link and register, get your email on the email list so that we can let you know all the things that's going on with me and Jasmine. And also with Hey Sis, show up for you morning motivation, right? So it is yeah, okay, I'm the on time one, Jasmine be the late one, but it is 30 minutes. So I want to go ahead and open the floor, and for those who have comments, who may have some tips, and even have their own personal share, to come on up to the stage and share. I am very interested in hearing, I shared my process about becoming debt free, but I have so many processes that I've been through in my life that has really just allowed me to become vulnerable and open up and allow me to see myself, right? Like, for the longest time, I could not see what people were saying. I could not see, people would just like say comments. Like, I used to, I'm gonna say that's in a book. But just there were a lot of there's so much that I've been through in my life that has allowed me to really appreciate where I am today. And so if you have a personal share, or something you would like to mention, or, piggyback on, or a tip, please come on up to the stage. Jasmine, do you have anything to add here? She might be away. All right. So to reset the room, we are in the intentional success tribe, where we are collaborating and making intentional connections with Miss Deanna. Um, and so, if you are interested in being a part of the Intentional Success Tribe, you can click on the greenhouse above. That is going to take you into the clubhouse for club. Take you into the club for a clubhouse, and it will also take you into the or if you back channel me success, I will share the link for you for the Intentional Success Tribe Facebook group, where it gets it where there you can have the connection and actually meet people who may help you throughout your business. You can make the connections that you need for the things that you might be missing. So, Miss Faith, now, I am Jasmine is the great and amazing introducer. I do not have that skill that Jasmine have. I do welcome you to the stage, you and Connie. Faith, what do you have to share? And thank you for joining.
You're so welcome. No, don't worry about the introduction. It's just me. It's just us, right? So the process. Like, if you know me, you know that that's one of my favorite words and topics to talk about. I usually even speak about that thing, like no caterpillar, no butterfly. The process is not easy. I loved what you were sharing, and thank you for your vulnerability, because honestly, we don't like to jump up and talk about those difficult moments where we're experiencing pain or shame or rejection, especially when we're women in business, especially when we know that there's somewhere that God has called us to, but there's a process to get there. And here's the great news, though: all of it is useful, all of it is necessary. For me, I went through my story. People say I need to do like a movie for sure, and I think a lot of us have that. But I went through like a really difficult situation, and it was just like the healing did not come just like that. As much as I wanted it to, as much as I was like, God, you know how Jesus was like, can you let this cup pass from me even so? It wasn't like that. It was like he kept saying, I've got you, but he did not say, I'm going to make it stop. He kept saying, "You're more valuable than the sparrow." But he did not pull me up out of the situation. And I found out the reason why was because he was developing my character. He was developing my faith in him. And the only way for me to really have faith was to go through situations where I needed to pull on God for faith because I could not fix it myself. And the other day, I was just thinking about sometimes when we go through these things, unforgiveness will start to try to like hold on to us, an offense, like, why did they do that? This and that and the other. But he showed me that even when we say we forgive sometimes, that there are some things that the Holy Spirit has to break off of us so that he can mend us. So we will forgive. He will break off the offense. He will break off the shame that hurt, the rejection, and then he will mend that situation. And really, like you're saying, put us back together again. But that is a process. And so I just pray that you ladies, like I said, no, it's not easy, but I'm telling you, it's painful sometimes, but God knows it's worth it. That you never give up in the middle, that you keep on pushing forward. And like she said, keep speaking the word of God over your life, that God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that he may, or that you may ask or think, according to the power that works in you. This is Faith, and I'm done speaking.
Wow. That was an awesome share. One of the things that I really like that you said was that he's going to bring you through it, but he's not going to make it stop. And I love that, just because it is that place of where you just are screaming for it to stop is the place of where God is trying to pull you through. That's where the biggest hurt is, and he's trying to get you over that hurdle. So that was an awesome share. Thank you so much, Faith. Um, and so we are here, we're talking about the process, or appreciating the process. And I share my story on getting debt free, and about the layers that we have to go through as we are in the process. So if this is something that connects with you, or if you want to share a tip to help someone out, even if you have like an affirmation for us today, come on up stage, come up and just and share. While we're waiting on you, we are going to go ahead and go to Miss Connie. She always has amazing shares. Miss Connie, what do you have for us today?
Good morning, happy grand rising, everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And I say, let us be glad in it in spite of what we may see. It was some powerful things said here today, and I feel so honored and privileged to even be in each one of your presence. But what came to mind is that we have to be committed to the process. And also accepting that, yes, there is some bitterness. That spoke to me when Faith talked about bitterness, because if we're really honest, a lot of times we harbor some hurt because of some harm that was done with us, and it leaves scars. And some of us are bitter about it. We're angry about it. We felt like we were served some type of injustice, but it is part of the process. It's what God uses. It is that bitterness that he uses. Once it's processed, it makes us better. I'll say it again. Once we swallow that bitterness and begin to allow God to process it, the bitterness will make us better. But if we're committed to that process, and that requires for us to really be honest, and you need to be honest and say, ouch, that hurt, or I'm really upset about this. I didn't like that, because God knows your heart. So we might as well be transparent to him. And it's only when he can start to heal those places that we're willing to let him shed a light on. Jesus is a gentleman. It's all about choice, which is the thing that I'm pinning. Healing is a choice, because I had like an epiphany, a moment when he was talking to me, and he was like, you know what, Connie? It's about choice. It's about free will. I give each one of you free will. It's a choice. You determine whether or not where you're going to go in this process. And it's so funny, Faith, that you mentioned butterfly, because that's the new image that God's made. I love the butterflies. If you ever heard the butterfly story, someone observing a butterfly.
All right, Facebook. I'm gonna go ahead and close down here on Facebook. We are in the after party over here on Clubhouse. I did let you listen in a little bit, so if you want to join that after party, you can also click on the link and go into the Clubhouse room. I'm so excited for you to be here. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And thank you for being patient with me today because we're doing something, doing something new. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, and talk to you later. Bye bye.